June 28, 2014, 5:47 a.m. Richmond, British Columbia. The neighborhood was calm, with a gentle coastal breeze rustling through the trees. Inside a modest suburban home, a 49-year-old man stood in his kitchen holding a cup of coffee. His laptop was open and his phone screen lit up. Within moments, Canadian federal tactical units breached the door. They knew exactly who he was, and they knew exactly what he had done. His name was Soo Bin, also known as Stephen Soo, a quiet aviation entrepreneur, owner of a small company, and someone who appeared insignificant in the vast world of global defense. But for 6 years, Soo Bin had been at the center of one of the largest cyber-espionage operations in modern history. This wasn't just hacking. It wasn't simply stolen files. This was a calculated effort to extract America's most advanced military secrets. Secrets worth an estimated $600 billion, piece by piece, server by server, engineer by engineer. And it almost worked.
I am Empire of Secrets, where we uncover everything strange and mysterious on Earth. As always, do not believe everything you hear. We're told the world is stable, but we know there is no peace for those who hold the world's blueprints. We stay vigilant, never forgetting that real power is never visible. If you're new here, welcome to the family. Subscribe and activate your alerts so we don't get lost in the sea of videos. Remember, every story has a version they want you to know, and then there's the version you're about to hear.
Soo Bin didn't look like a spy. He didn't act like one either. He wasn't a uniformed officer or a cyber genius writing malicious code in a basement. He ran a small aviation parts company in Canada called Load Tech. He attended international aerospace conferences, shook hands with executives, and handed out business cards. But his real job wasn't about manufacturing components. His real job was targeting. He traveled to aviation expos in Beijing, Paris, Dallas, and California. He observed people, collected names, and identified engineers working on sensitive projects. He mapped departments, access levels, and vulnerabilities. He paid attention to who was frustrated at work, who had access to secure systems, and who might be careless with credentials. He called it planting seeds. He wasn't storming fortresses. He was finding the doors people forgot to lock. Behind Soo Bin were Chinese military hackers, skilled cyber operators tied to the People's Liberation Army. They didn't know which employees had access to what or which subcontractor was weak. Soo Bin told them. The targets weren't random. They were giants. Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and dozens of subcontractors across 45 U.S. states. The goal was specific: 3 aircraft programs that defined American air power. The C-17 Globemaster III, a crucial part of the U.S. strategic airlift capability. The F-35 Lightning II, one of the world's most advanced multi-role stealth fighters, and the F-22 Raptor, the top fighter for air superiority. These weren't just planes. They were flying networks of classified software, radar-absorbing materials, stealth coatings, and years of aerospace research. In January 2009, the operation escalated. A Boeing engineer received what seemed like a routine message about retirement paperwork. It appeared harmless. He clicked on it. That single click opened a door. Within hours, hackers had access to Boeing's internal systems, They installed keyloggers, created hidden administrator accounts, and moved through the networks undetected, working during US nighttime hours. They took their time. They stayed for months. By the time they were done, more than 630,000 files had been stolen, roughly 65 gigabytes of sensitive military aviation data. Flight test results, blueprints, software systems, stealth coding formulas, radar analysis. And Su Bin wasn't just forwarding files. He translated documents into Mandarin. He categorized them, prioritized them, and highlighted key details. He wasn't just a courier. He was enhancing the theft.
U.S. intelligence later concluded that this stolen data helped China accelerate its development of the J-20 stealth fighter and Y-20 military transport aircraft. It bypassed years of trial and error, avoided design obstacles, and sped up the development timeline. For years, no one noticed the full scale of the operation. Then, in 2012, U.S. intelligence intercepted communications referencing internal C-17 project summaries. The alias Stephen Su was linked to translated classified documents. Investigators traced the digital trail to Canada, Richmond, British Columbia. Surveillance began quietly. For 6 months, authorities tracked Su Bin's movements, communications, conference appearances, and financial activity. They discovered something alarming. He had bought a one-way ticket to China, departure scheduled for June 29, 2014. They had less than 48 hours.
On June 28th, before dawn, Canadian Federal Police executed an arrest warrant. Tactical teams surrounded his home, and digital forensic specialists were ready to seize his devices. Inside, they found 3 laptops, 8 external hard drives, and dozens of USB devices. Nearly 900 gigabytes of data, including encrypted military files, neatly organized into labeled folders in Chinese. He had backup systems spread across multiple locations. He believed he could leave before anyone noticed. He thought he was safe. But geopolitics complicated things. Shortly after his arrest, 2 Canadian citizens were detained in China under vague national security charges. Many saw this as retaliatory pressure. Tensions rose quietly behind closed doors. Despite this, Canada moved forward with extradition.
In 2016, Su Bin was transferred to the U.S. to face charges. In a Los Angeles courtroom, he pled guilty to conspiracy and theft of defense information. He admitted to working with Chinese military officers, receiving millions of dollars in compensation, and knowingly targeting U.S. defense contractors. He was sentenced to 46 months in prison. Some believed his sentence was too light given the damage, but investigators needed cooperation. They needed insight into methods, networks, and vulnerabilities. Because the real weapon wasn't the stolen files, it was the method. After his release in 2020, Su Bin was deported to China. There were no public celebrations, no headlines welcoming him home. He vanished from public view. But the consequences didn't disappear. China's advanced fighter jets entered production. Its heavy transport aircraft became operational. The cyber-espionage model Su Bin helped refine became a blueprint for future operations across industries and nations. The battlefield had changed. Modern warfare is no longer fought only with missiles and aircraft. It's fought through phishing emails, unsecured servers, human psychology, conferences, and casual conversations. One businessman, 6 years, hundreds of billions in stolen secrets, and a reminder that in the digital age, the most powerful weapon
isn't always visible. Sometimes it's just a click.